A dog sleeping beside your bed seems harmless. That's the strange part, because if you move that same scene back thousands of years, the animal sleeping near a human is not a pet, it is a wolf near the firelight. And no ancient body would have called that cute. It would have woken up. People like to say humans created dogs, as if we planned the whole thing. But the older story is messier than that. It may have started with scraps, fear, hunger, and one wolf calm enough to stay close without being killed. So the real question is not just how wolves became dogs, it is how danger got close enough to become family.
Look at a dog asleep at the foot of a bed. The room is quiet, the door is locked, the human is not guarding anything. Nobody looks at that animal and thinks, there's a predator inside the house. That's how normal dogs have become. Most people see comfort, loyalty, maybe even proof that humans are good at turning wild things into companions. But from the outside, the scene is much stranger. Because the animal sleeping beside the bed comes from the kind of animal ancient humans once had to listen for in the dark. A wolf near a sleeping camp was not waiting to be named. It was a moving risk, a sound beyond the firelight.
A shape that made the body wake up before the mind had words for it. That distinction matters. Domestication science sometimes describes part of this as commensal domestication. In plain English, one animal starts living near another because being close begins to pay off. Not friendship yet, not ownership, just nearness with a reward attached. Modern homes hide that first layer. The bowl, the leash, the couch, the soft bed, they all make the relationship look like something humans simply control. But the older story was not control. It was danger becoming predictable enough to stand.
Now picture an older scene, an ancient camp after a meal. The fire is low, the humans are tired. Near the edge of the light, there are bones, scraps, smells, and one wolf watching from the dark. The fire did two things at once. It kept most wolves away, and it made the camp worth approaching. That is where the story gets less cute. To humans, the wolf was danger. To the wolf, the camp was danger with food inside it. Getting close could mean calories. Getting too close could mean death. Scientists who study domestication would call this a selection pressure. In plain English, the camp quietly rewarded certain behaviors and punished others. The aggressive wolf had a problem. It moved too fast, pushed too close, triggered fear, and gave humans a reason to kill it or drive it away. The fearful wolf had a different problem. It stayed safe, but it also stayed hungry. But the calmer wolf could do something stranger. It could wait. Not act friendly, not show loyalty, not ask to be loved, just stay calm enough to remain near the edge without becoming an emergency. Over many repeated nights, that difference mattered. The fire line became a filter. It did not choose the strongest wolf. It favored the one that could survive beside humans without making humans panic. Modern homes hide that filter under soft things, bowls, leashes, dog beds, locked doors, so the relationship can look like humans simply won. But the older pattern is less flattering. Humans were not just shaping wolves. Wolves were also discovering which version of themselves could live near us.
Over generations, an animal that stays near humans doesn't just get closer to food. It gets closer to human signals, hands, voices, footsteps, firelight, a face turning suddenly, a person reaching for a bone, a door opening, a routine repeating every day until it becomes part of the animal's world. That's where temperament starts becoming something much bigger. Dmitri Belyaev's fox experiment offers an important clue. Researchers selectively bred foxes that stayed calmer around people. Over generations, some foxes didn't just behave differently. Changes also appeared in their bodies, their stress responses, and the way they interacted with humans. That doesn't prove exactly how dogs first evolved, but it does show something important. When animals are repeatedly selected for tolerance, tolerance may not remain just one isolated behavior.
It can begin to reshape the animal's entire relationship with the human world. That's why a modern dog isn't simply a wolf with better manners. A dog living in an apartment watches the elevator, the food bowl, the leash, a hand reaching toward the door, the sound of keys, the human face that says, "Not yet," before a single word is spoken. And humans change too. We learned which animals warned us, which ones stayed close, which ones could sleep beside the fire without turning the night into panic. Temperament opened the door. attention moved in. And little by little, the animal outside the fire became an animal that could live inside human life.
So maybe the strangest part is not just that wolves became dogs. It's that humans became the kind of animal that could sleep beside a former danger and call it comfort. The wolf outside the fire did not become a pet in one clean step. It became less dangerous, more familiar, more useful, and eventually safe enough to trust near the body. That distinction matters. Invention is when one species designs something. Domestication is stranger. It is what happens when two animals keep changing because staying close starts working better than staying separate. So when a dog sleeps beside the bed, do not only see obedience, cuteness, or ownership. See the older agreement underneath: fire, hunger, distance, attention, and trust. And the next question is even stranger. What did dogs start noticing in our faces before we noticed it ourselves?